Hey there, Ken Zorvich, NFM Lending. Hope you're having an excellent start to the weekend. So, a common headline you'll see in the news that has to do with real estate, and especially this affordability crisis we keep talking about, has to do with the amount of new home construction going on. Okay. So let's look at this a little bit, especially in Florida, and see how much pressure is this really putting on the market or relieving from the market when it comes to new home construction. Okay. Let's look at Broward County specifically. This is a good test case because you don't have a ton of new construction going on with like big housing developments. Yes, if you get out east, you're going to see buildings going up, much like you do in Dade County and stuff. And then south in Miami, you've got some new construction, some in West Palm still. But for the most part, in Broward County, from the Everglades to the coast, all the land's accounted for. Okay. You have small pockets here and there of maybe 15 homes, 20 homes, 30 homes that are going up, but nothing like, four, 500, unit communities that are coming to market. So what we have is almost like a finite amount of supply. So new construction is not going to really relieve pressure. So what are the other headwinds that could be, causing inventory shortages or just not enough? There's a couple things that come to mind. First is you talk about institutional investors or mom and pop investors of real estate. This makes up about 20% of the homes owned out there are your mom and pop or institutional investors. Now, I know the administration said they want to put a cap on how much these institutional investors can buy homes. I think it's wise, but the mom and pop make up 90% of the investment properties that are owned. And that's just because real estate has become a valuable asset over the years. 30 years ago, you could argue, why would you put your money in real estate? There's not much to be gained there. It's a different time now. As population grows, as people gravitate towards certain areas, the demand for real estate increases. Broward County's become a desirable location. Thus, the real estate's going to rise. And even though it makes people feel uncomfortable. Now, another aspect to look at that I think is a reoccurring theme is sort of a combination of the length of time people are staying in their homes before downsizing and the age of first time buyers. So let's look at this for a second. I remember when I moved into my house about 10, 11 years ago, there was a couple that lived across the street that was had kids that were probably in their early 20s and they were still in this home. And you're kind of like, they're in a 5 bedroom home. Why would they need to be in there if their kids have moved out of the house? And it took them 10 years of being in there as empty nesters before they finally sold and downsized. That was not happening 10 years ago, right? So what we have is we have people staying in their homes for a longer period of time before they downsize. That means there's less turnover and less homes coming to market. So is it a new construction issue or is it turnover issue? And I think that's an important thing, especially down here in South Florida, understand we need more turnover. And because we haven't had as much, that means there's more pressure on inventory. Now, you add to that, first time home buyer age has gone from being in the high 20s about 20 years ago to now being closer to 40 for first time home buyers, the average age, not everyone, just the average age. So, what that tells you is whether kids are staying home longer, not moving out as quickly, staying with family or, staying with their parents as they transition into out of school and working and it's too expensive to rent. So maybe they'll save money. Whatever the motivation is, kids are potentially staying in homes longer. Thus, parents are keeping them longer. There's less turnover and less properties coming to market. So these are all reasons beyond just the construction part that's really affecting affordability or at least inventory and properties being available. So if you want to talk about this further, please reach out to me. I just want to bring attention to this because it's not always home construction that's going to solve our problems. We need to get more properties to market. We need more downsizing. We need more people buying at a younger age and embracing the market if they can. But I'd love to chat with you more. Make sure you get in some time with some friends and family this weekend. And as always, I want to be in this business in 5 years. If you know someone who is looking to purchase or refinance, please think of me. Have a great weekend.